Growing spending battle here in Washington is being fueled in part by a whole new freshman class of Republican lawmakers. Our congressional correspondent Brianna Keeler had the chance to sit down with some of them in a joint venture with Time correspondent Jay Newton-Small, and she joins us now. Brianna, did you talk to them how they were going to vote on this budget deal tomorrow?
We certainly did, Wolf. These were 4 members, all of them Tea Party backed, and check out how they are actually split on how they're going to vote. Anne Marie Burkle of New York, as well as Paul Gosar of Arizona, they both say they're leaning towards voting yes. And then Raul Labrador of Idaho says he's leaning no, and Tom Graves of Georgia says he's going to vote no. They're concerned that there aren't enough spending cuts. It's kind of a surprising split for this group. They're among 87 GOP freshmen who are frequently referred to as a monolithic bunch.
But in splitting like this, aren't you sort of underlining the Democratic argument that the Republican Party is split, that the Tea Party is splitting the Republican Party, that there's a chasm between you?
Not at all. In fact, if you look at it, when we started the debate, the initial offer was $31 billion in cuts. Some of us spoke up and we said that we needed it to be more. So we actually got it to $61 billion in cuts, and now we're getting $39 billion in cuts. If we hadn't said that we're going to stand and we're going to vote against these things, I think we would have had much less than the 38 or 39 billion right now.
Well, we're representing our districts. I mean, when I make decisions, it's not based on what the Republican Party does. I'm elected by the 9th Congressional District. I vote my conscience first and my constituents next. I mean, that's how I make decisions, regardless of the direction of our leadership.
How do you think the leadership is doing? How do you think Speaker Boehner did on these negotiations?
No, I think they're doing really well. I think they listen to us. They take our messaging to the other side, and I think the important thing is that, you know, as a freshman, you think that maybe you're not going to have a voice, and I think our voice is being heard.
An open rules process in which both sides have had equal say on ideas and bringing things forth only enhances the ability of having something bipartisan coming forward. And so I like that aspect about it.
Well, there's one thing to say about John Boehner. He's a fighter.
Yep.
He does fight, and I mean, if there's somebody you want in the foxhole with you, it's going to be John Boehner. So I think he'll work hard to make America proud.
And I think that John Boehner listens. He listened to the freshman class, he heard our message, and he went back to the table, and he got more cuts.
Billions more in spending cuts demanded by these very Tea Party-backed freshmen. Democrats say the Tea Party is the tail wagging the Republican dog, and they've called these members extremists. So, are you crazy, or are you really the sanest people in Washington?
You know, if being fiscally responsible is extreme and crazy, then I am.
Right.
I mean, I'm guilty of that.
I'm just a country boy from North Georgia. I have 3 children and a wonderful wife. And when I look at my 3 children who are 8, 11, and 12, and they really represent the faces and the future of the children all across my congressional district. And what the Tea Party stands for is not extremism; it's about their future.
I would also say, they've actually called me Hermie. And I am a dentist, and if I do my job and I pull that molar of the abominable, federal government, I've done my job. I kind of like that.
Now, a couple of other big spending battles ahead, Wolf, that we've been talking about. The 2012 budget proposed by Budget Committee Chairman Paul Ryan, which includes an overhaul of Medicare. We'll see that vote on Friday. All 4 of these freshmen saying they support that idea and taking on entitlements. And then, of course, raising the debt ceiling. All 4 of these members made it clear there's no way they would vote for that unless they got some serious concessions on spending from Democrats. In fact, Congressman Tom Graves of Georgia called warnings about the U.S. defaulting on loans come mid-May. Scare tactics, Wolf.
All right, Brianna, thanks very much. This footnote, you can read more from Jay Newton-Small about the CNN Time Political Roundtable over at time.com.